Hey guys, today we're going to talk about why I make YouTube videos, why you should make YouTube videos, and why anybody else should make YouTube videos. So let's get started. So there are a lot of reasons why people make YouTube videos. Personally, I make YouTube videos for various reasons. Number one, I got to start by clarifying that YouTube, in my opinion anyway, is a wonderful platform. They've been around for 22, 23 years. Actually, we could go back in the history of YouTube. Long before Google bought it, it actually started off as a dating site. And then somehow, Google got the idea, well, maybe this would be kind of a good platform to purchase. Maybe there's some stuff we could do with it. And ever since then, it's evolved. And in my opinion, it's evolved in a really, really positive way. And so having said that, there are a number of things that you can do personally with a YouTube channel and why people get involved with YouTube in the first place. So first of all, YouTube can be either an artistic or personal form of expression. Let's take, for example, you are, excited about something, but you really have nobody to be excited with, or nobody to tell about it. So, I don't know. Go ahead and try making a video. Now that sounds kind of silly to make a video about something you don't know anybody's going to watch, or for a bunch of strangers. But in reality, it isn't. I mean, I think I get excited about something. And, not having anybody around at the present time, it's kind of hard to express my excitement. So I go on YouTube, I start to make a video, and I start to express my excitement and, how I'm going to pursue this new project that I'm doing, or whatever it is I'm doing. And then I start to express myself. And expressing myself, my ideas come out. And believe it or not, the more you talk about something, the more creative you become. Whether you're talking to a camera or you're talking to anybody in general, the ideas begin to flow. And I think in some ways it's very therapeutic to let your ideas flow out, even if they're to yourself or 4 or 5 other people. As that idea progresses and develops, it actually becomes something substantial, something tangible that you can actually reach out and do. So I guess having said that, YouTube can be a form of therapy for oneself, to get your ideas out there, to get your excitement out there. And in reality, I mean, if you start a channel and you're gung-ho about something, and really you only express it to 4 or 5 people only watch it, at least you get some interaction about that idea, and you get some feedback for, how that action could generate, and how that action, you could pursue that action, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, let's take, for example, I've got a really cool idea about quilting. And I don't have a whole lot of friends around to share it at the moment, but I know there is an audience out there for people who quilt. So I express my idea. Here's what I do, and here's how I do it, and here's how this whole project and this concept is going to work. And I begin to share that, and then I reflect back on what I've talked about, and you think, holy jumpins, that's actually a really, really good idea. So you share it on YouTube, and let's say 3 people watch it, but those 3 people give you 3 comments. And from those 3 comments generates a whole, it morphs into a whole different type of thing where you say, okay, I can do that, and I can do that. And all of a sudden, these wonderful ideas, these great ideas begin to develop, and your whole YouTube, your whole concept of the channel begins, or at least, you've shared that idea with somebody and you got some feedback from somebody. Now, you may say, well, I'm way too busy for that. But the audience I'm talking to right now could be a group of elderly people who are shut in and have very few people to talk to, and then they begin expressing these great ideas of the hobbies they do to a different audience. Like, we're not talking about we're not talking here about going viral with this. We're just talking about sharing something, as again, I'm going to repeat myself, something you love, something you're passionate about with a few people. And then that morphs off and generates into something totally, totally different. Okay, let's take the other approach. You're not that passionate, but you're having a down day. You know, something, or you're having a down time in your life, and you decide to get on in front of a camera, whether it be, you know, a professional camera, whether it be, you know, an iPhone or an old Android, whatever it might be, and you just begin to talk. And you begin to talk your way through it. You get it to the point, you don't have to do a whole lot of editing, but you get it to the point where it's ready to release, you release it, and lo and behold, there are a lot of other people feeling the same way and having the same problems. And what do you know? You develop some kind of support network or a safety net, a social network. That's something that YouTube can be wonderfully useful for, is a personal thing, a personal approach about your passions, about your problems, just about daily life, things you do every day. You know, I got up, I watched this wonderful show, and the show was about this, and it was about that, and it was about the other thing. And, you know, you release it expecting nobody to watch it, but maybe 50 people watch it, and then all of a sudden these 50 people are saying, oh, I watched the same show. Oh, that was fantastic. Did you see what Grace did here? And did you see what Will did here? And then all of a sudden this develops into blossoms, into something. So I guess that's one reason to start a YouTube channel, is just self-therapy, getting yourself out there, getting your passions out there, getting your ideas out there, and getting your problems out there, and find out there's a whole world of other people out there who really, you know, are sharing the same perceptions, the same reality, the same passions, the same goals. So that's just one of the wonderful things that YouTube can do on a personal basis. Secondly, I decided to take my YouTube channel to the next level. So I started off in 2010 on YouTube, and I decided I was going to do cooking videos. And well, actually, the history is I started with a website. The website did fairly well, and then the algorithm did something weird, and then my web page kind of crashed, and I was making, you know, a few bucks a month off it. And then I looked at my figures, I looked at my income, and I thought, I've got to backtrack a little bit. Sorry about that. So I decided, along with the web page, that I would release some videos and I'd, you know, put them on YouTube, not thinking, like I said before, anything would come of it. So lo and behold, the website kind of crashed, and my figures went down, my visits went down, my numbers went down. You know, my revenue went down, the little revenue that it was back in 2011, and but the revenue didn't actually go down. Although the visits on the website went down, the revenue itself did not go down. I thought, well, that's weird. Where is all this, where's this extra money coming from? And lo and behold, I looked at my AdSense, and it was coming from YouTube. And I thought, well, people, I hadn't even checked YouTube. And I thought, well, people are actually watching my videos? I said, well, that's encouraging. Took a look at my YouTube stats. I went into analytics. And yeah, people were watching my videos. I started to generate comments. I started to, you know, get subscribers. And I thought, well, I didn't even intend for this to happen. So backtracking back to what we had talked about, expressing your passions, your interests, your problems, that could develop into something like this. To go on over the years on my cooking channel, I remember we got 50,000 subscribers, and I thought, ooh, wow, that's fantastic, which gave me more motivation to go on. Then we got 80,000 subscribers, and then we got 100,000 subscribers. During that period, and I'll share this in another video because I think I've lived a fairly interesting life. I was teaching in South Korea when we first started the channel, and then I moved to the Philippines for 2 years. Was doing the channel in the Philippines, and we were making enough to survive. And I mean, survive fairly well in the Philippines just by doing these cooking videos that I loved doing. I mean, I had a real passion for it, and I just loved it and began to refine the skills, and it became a full-time thing. And that's what I'm doing right now at this point in time, is making money from YouTube. I'm not getting rich. You know, don't think I'm saying that, but I am making a living from YouTube. There are frustrating parts of YouTube. There always are frustrating parts of anything, any job. So don't get me wrong. My views have gone down, and then they'll go up again, and then you think, oh, great. And you know, 1 minute you're living in a yacht, and the next minute you're living in a dinghy. But that's, you know, that's part of life. That's the way life works. So YouTube, something you were passionate about, something you'd like to express, you know, all that jazz, that could turn into very well something full-time and generate a full-time income. You know, you hone the skills along the way, and don't get intimidated because you don't have the, you know, you don't have the editing skills, you don't have the software, you don't have the camera. Don't worry about any of that. Just start by grabbing your webcam, or not your webcam, but grabbing your iPhone or your Android, putting the camera on, and just start talking. Or you're going for a walk, and, you know, I'm going to film this walk, and isn't this beautiful? And, you know, lo and behold, other people will share the same things. That's the second reason, is YouTube could be a full-time income, and it could generate a few bucks. I mean, if you're on a pension and you're bringing in, I don't know, $1,200-$1,400 on a senior's pension, or, you know, you're on unemployment insurance or something like that, whatever it might be, or just you're in a job that pays kind of minimum wage and you're just kind of scraping by, and you're looking for a sideline, an extra $200 or $300 is, you know, it's better than a boot in the bum, so to speak. So that's another reason to do it. I guess the third reason here I'm going to talk about, and the most important reason that I believe, is it's kind of your book. It's a story of your life. And okay, here I go along this rabbit hole of YouTube kind of being an autobiography, or a digital biography, so to speak, if you want to have it, of your life. If I go back to even my mother and my father, and of course they were around in the 70s and 80s, probably at their prime in the 60s and 70s, and long before the digital world and long before the internet existed. If I could go back and let's pretend for a minute and jump in this time machine and take this time train back, and if they had have recorded, they did it on the old, you know, 8mm film projectors and all that, but if they had have had, say, a YouTube channel, again, we're hypothesizing and saying YouTube was around back then, had have done YouTube videos on their lives, the things they did, of me being a baby, of me growing up, of them growing up, of them getting married, of them getting older. To me, those videos would have been worth $1 million. I mean, to me personally, they'd probably be worthless and maybe semi-interesting to somebody else watching, but to me personally, they would be worth a lot of money. They're better than still, stagnant, dead photo albums. They're live videos of somebody speaking, somebody who was living, somebody who was expressing, somebody who cared, somebody who loved, somebody who got angry. That would have made me see, even to this day, my parents in a whole different light. And those videos, that autobiography on YouTube of your life, could be so meaningful to your grandchildren, to your children, to your grandchildren's children's. You kind of get what I mean. You can keep going. Say somebody watches these in 100 years, and I know YouTube is going to be around in 100 years. It's like saying, oh, they invented the car. Well, all of a sudden, it's 2022. There's no more cars. They stopped making cars. And technology is not going to stop. It's going to roll. YouTube's going to be around for a long time, and so are your videos if you decide to make them. Talk about your life. Talk about the things you like doing. If you're 70 on YouTube, talk about some of the fascinating things you've seen. If you're 70 right now, you've come up through a lot. I mean, you've come up, you know, from the basic colored television to watching me right now on YouTube and the whole technology, digital internet age. I know you can do this on Facebook, and I know Facebook preserves a lot of memories, and you can go into your settings and click this little thing on Facebook, and once I pass on, that my channel will stay and they'll be in the hands of somebody else. But to me, guys, Facebook is nothing like YouTube. And Facebook, in my opinion, I don't know, it's changing. We want to go with that. That's another topic for another day in another video. But YouTube is here to stay. It's going to be around for a while. When we talk about these memoirs and a footprint of your life, the story of your life, I would like to see YouTube kind of having a living will type of thing. Once I pass on, here's what I would like to see happen to my videos. Again, another topic for another day. But still, having those memories preserved. And it seems like I'm talking to an aging population. Maybe I am. I'm 61 now. And a lot of us don't know how much longer we're going to be around. So that's something in our heads. But let's say for those folks out there who are 18, 20, 30, the top of the hill or the bottom of the hill going down the hill like us, older folks, it isn't really that relevant to them. And they don't see that, in their minds are going to be around forever. But they don't know that. And so they could start doing some YouTube biography stuff now. And can you imagine what that's going to be like if they did that, even if they did it every 6 months? Okay, I love YouTube. Yeah, I'm going to do YouTube videos. And then a month passes by, and we're going to get on with our life, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. Oh, I forgot about YouTube. Holy snappings. Okay. Now I'm going to do another YouTube video. If that energy came across every 6 months, they would still have, you multiply that by 20, 30 years, they would have an awesome selection of videos and memoirs to go through. They could go through after, they turn 60 in their retirement years, in their golden years, and, organize them, and they could even go back through and edit them, whatever it might be, but you still have them. And to me, guys, that's where YouTube is absolutely golden. And that's one of the primary reasons that most people should start a YouTube channel, is to preserve themselves. I mean, you can preserve yourselves through your children, your genes go on, but not your memories, not who you were. Let's digress a little bit. Say you got out of sorts with your family and your kids, and Dad was just an old grump, and he was a bleeping so-and-so, and I didn't like him. That's a perception. That's the way they think. That's the way they feel. It doesn't make it right. So they pass that on to their grandkids or their children, and then their grandkids. Oh, yeah, that old guy, you don't even want to bother with him. Ooh, he was mean. He was an abusive drunk. Oh, I heard that. Oh, yeah. But if they could go back to that video you made in 2022, and let's say we're talking 2080 right now, and actually watch that, and for you to say something like, I did a lot of bad things in my life, guys, and I regret some of them, but I really did a lot of good things, and I love you guys. I really do, in spite of the wrong that I've done. That would shed a whole different light on that perception of what those grandkids or those great-grandkids are going to feel, because it's you. It's you speaking. It's you that's being real. So having said that, I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon any much more, if that's good grammar, anymore. But you can see my point here is preserving yourself, preserving your memories, preserving the memories of the time. I'm going to go off, and I know this video is going to be a little long, but I am going to go off on another little tangent that I grew up in this town. The name of the town was Maynooth. And it was an interesting town, but that's where I spent, my teenage years there. And I've got some awesome memories. I don't remember, although they might have been bad memories. I don't recall any terrible, terrible memories. But I look back at that town, and I look where it was in the 1970s, in the 1980s, and where it is today, and totally, totally different worlds. If we had have had YouTube back in that day, and we could have taken videos, or we could have done videos of the people who lived back then, the people who thrived back then, of the industry back then, of the stores back then, of the hotels, of the families back then, man, oh man, would we have some memories to look back to. But they're gone. They're long, long gone. And there's nobody to recapture them. And there should be some kind of law in smaller communities and in small towns that somehow you got to preserve those memories. You got to preserve a library, or somehow put them on a shelf that people could watch them in the future and say, yeah, this is where it all stemmed from. This is the foundation. This is where it came from. And it's the same with your life. So even doing something like that, record, my friends. Those memories will never come back. You'll never relive them. You'll relive new ones, but you won't relive the old ones. And that's where making a YouTube channel becomes important, critical, and so memorable. So, 3 things we've talked about for expressing yourself: self-expression, your passions. For therapeutic value, YouTube is fantastic. And for preserving those memories. The 4th reason is how-to. I go to YouTube for a lot of how-to videos. Oh, jumping, my watch has quit again. Oh, I know. I'll go to YouTube and watch a how-to video. Lo and behold, there's something there to help mankind, to help society, to help the guy that's watch is broken, and to fix it. And I mean, it's absolutely fantastic in that regard. Something's broken on my car. I just bought, I just bought a new Honda CR-V. And something, in the settings doesn't work, or something I have on the car in terms of an option doesn't work. YouTube it. Sure enough, I get the answer. So it's your way of sharing valuable information to other people out there in the world too, that can help them. So that's the whole purpose of life, isn't it, guys? Is helping each other, How would it be if we were an island and we lived alone? That certainly wouldn't be any good. So some really, really valuable reasons, my friends, for having a YouTube channel, for you starting a YouTube channel, for me doing a YouTube channel, for other people doing a YouTube channel. I mean, tons of reasons. And I hope, you can express more reasons. Please tell me in the description section below, or in the comment section below, I should say. And I look forward to your comments. Also, I really look forward to making some more videos about, I'm just going to end this video on a little personal note here of my life and some things I've done. I grew up in Maynooth. I want to do some videos of that small town and other small towns in Ontario, even the United States, even Europe. I think small towns are so cool. I want to do some videos on the environment. I want to do some hiking videos. I want to do some travel videos while I'm still able to travel. Again, getting back to what we talked to, preserving those memories. There are a ton of videos I want to do, but I also want to do some storytelling of my life. Like I said, the small town that I grew up in, I definitely want to do some storytelling about that. But also, I was a teacher for years. I taught for 22, 25 years, not only in Canada, but I also taught in Korea, in South Korea for 5 years. Wonderful experience, wonderful times, wonderful people. And so I got some storytelling to do about that. But before that, I traveled to Europe. I spent 2 or 3 months in Europe, did the England thing, and I did, Switzerland, France, Germany, all over there. And after that, I went down to Central America, and I worked for a year in Costa Rica as a tour guide in Costa Rica. Hiked these wonderful volcanoes. It was the time when Arenal volcano was erupting, into the night, and tour buses were going up there in La Fortuna, in where I stayed, and we were going up to Arenal Volcano all hours of the night, doing tours up there. The volcano just erupting, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Worked there for a year. Wanted to walk my way across every border in Central America. So I walked my way into Nicaragua, El Salvador, Honduras, spent some time in Mexico, spent some time in the States. So I want to do some storytelling about that as well. And all my travels through Canada, taught in the North for 2 years in Northern Canada. So, many, many, many stories. And so I hope you stay tuned to Dave's Network for many more videos. And I really hope, my friends, that this video on starting a YouTube channel will encourage you, no matter, your reasons, your motivation, to start one. I mean, if you got a Google account, start a YouTube channel. Put a video on. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. But boy, there are some wonderful things that YouTube can do for you now, and it can do in the future. So, I hope you found this video interesting and informative. And like I say, let me know in the comment section below. And God bless you guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.